Imagine you have spent all your young life knowing in your heart that you're different. You've tried to be good, you love God, you love your parents, you even listen to your pastor. You know they are all worried for you, and you do all of the things that they have asked of you. You practice and you practice and you practice, even though it feels wrong. You worry that it will never feel right, that you will never feel right, that you deserve to feel bad deep down because you believe that you are bad. No one is like you, you are alone, and if you slip up, if you forget even for a moment, then everyone will know and they will hate you forever and ever. So no one can ever know that you are left-handed. The horror, right? Our Google overlords tell me that approximately 10% of the world's people are left-handed, 10%. Coincidentally, this is the same percentage that self-identify as belonging to the LGBTQI plus spectrum. And just for the record, the only link between handedness and sexual orientation or gender identification is the fact that we are talking about a minority, an easily identifiable and therefore easily persecutable group, and that is it. Now, this bugs me for many reasons. One of them is that there are plenty of good and valid reasons to judge people for. Things that they do on purpose, for example, like people who refuse to use turn signals, people with poor spelling or grammar or punctuation, people who cook their steaks too well done, Dallas Cowboy fans, people who watch Tucker Carlson, bad people. Yeah, I'm kidding. But the general point stands. If we're going to judge people, and that is clearly something we are going to do regardless of what I say, there are good reasons to do it. And it's true, there are. For example, people who hurt other people and do not feel remorse or compassion, these are people we should isolate from society, and we do. And people that refuse on principle to help anyone else, but then unironically insist that everyone else help them. People who will steal the future of others to enrich themselves in the present. People who kidnap asylum seekers to score political points. All of those people, I have some very pointed recommendations for how to treat them. But at the very least, they deserve to lose bigly on Election Day. As some of you may know, October is LGBTQI plus History Month. And this week, this Tuesday, marks National Coming Out Day. So according to the Human Rights Campaign, that's hrc.org, National Coming Out Day was first observed on October 11th, 1988. And that was the anniversary of the National March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights. The day is currently being hailed as, quote, a reminder that one of our most basic tools is the power of coming out. Coming out. Naming out there, a truth that has been held in here. The truth that sets us free. I've heard it said that today, in our ever so enlightened society, coming out may not seem like such a big deal. Not like it was, say, 50 or so years ago. Maybe that's so. But what I want to say, what I want to lift up is that while our society may have shifted at least a little, coming out is nevertheless utterly transformative. It can be and should be revolutionary, brave. And as this month's spiritual theme is courage, I want to lean into the feeling that comes with acts of courage, that joy, that freedom that is worthy of celebration. and celebrate we will. So as I mentioned at the opening, just as a reminder, this Tuesday we're going to be heading over to the Fox Valley Presbyterian Church, 6 p.m. Food and trucks. So be there or be hungry and less colorful. So some of you may remember that this past June, UUSG partnered with the Fox Valley Presbyterian Church, the Methodist Church of Geneva, and the Geneva Lutheran Church to host a family pride picnic. Several hundred people came. It was a cool event, and we're going to be doing it again next June. And as my friend and colleague, Pastor Stephanie Anthony of Fox Valley Presbyterian, told us at one of the many rallies we held over the last year, quote, "The church has been on the wrong side of this issue." That's worth lifting up. The church, and by that I do mean the entire breadth and width of the Christian church. They have been wrong. We have been wrong. It has been wrong about Black lives. It has been wrong about women's rights. It has been wrong about gay rights. And it is not just as Christians. We as Americans have been wrong about these issues and others. We as Americans have chosen the wrong side of history more than once. And because of that, we hurt people and we stood by and let harms continue in our name. That's our history. When we hear the words reparation or defunding the police, that is us attempting to wrestle with past harms. Whether you support either or more doesn't matter. It's just us engaging, and engagement is important. It's hard, but it's important. Last week, we celebrated Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the day when we are to weigh out what it is that we have done so that we can make amends, to fix what we broke. And this week is Coming Out Day. It's a celebration of Revelation. It's kind of interesting when our national calendar collides like this. So in the spirit of that monthly theme of courage, I want to run with that just for a bit. We say that naming truths, even when that truth was a harm, that is important. And while it does not fix the problem, it is a start. Here at UUSG, we have some not great stories. Stories about chasing away our founding minister, Augustus Conan. Maybe you remember that from this summer. We chased him away. Why? He was just a bit too outspoken about abolition, wasn't he? That's our history. Now, most of us have made peace with that history because it's distant history. But if we said that the harms done here were only distant history, well, we'd be wrong, wouldn't we? Because our more recent history also includes specific harms handed to LGBTQ members and to members of color. Look around you. Right now, look around. You may see some notable absences in the pews. And it's hard to hear this. It's important to hear it because naming our past helps us to fix it. And to be quite honest, this is something we've been working on. Over the last few years, we've had discussions, town hall meetings, tent meetings, personal meetings, where we've explored our actions and our intents and our impacts. We have had workshops, training events, book clubs, movie nights, all aimed at raising our awareness, exposing our biases, exploring our actions, repenting and atoning, and doing the work of healing. This work is not complete, and there are many here that would still benefit from additional work. And yes, I am talking about me. And yes, I'm talking about you. If you have any questions or want to know more details about that, I'm absolutely available for that. Your DEI team was created because of this. And I want to acknowledge that this work is not the work of a single day, month, or year. The work of justice, of reconciliation, of love, of growth, of truth, that can only unfold through the grace of time. However, we are committed to creating change. And as this is LGBTQ History Month, I think it's worth saying all of that out loud. Now, as I turn to the close, I want to talk just a bit about changing the world. Last week, our friend, the Venerable Bhante Sujatha, said that we ought to forget about it, the outside world. It's just too big. But here is exactly the right size. If you want to work on the world, if you want to do the work of the Spirit, if you want to start the work of healing, of love, of growth, start here. I think this is a really amazing message for National Coming Out Day. But it is also a deeply challenging message because it puts two ideals in tension with each other, two ideals that we might see as opposing each other. On the one hand, we have the teachings of the church for the last 1,000 years or so, specifically the idea that right belief is the great big secret, the key to everlasting life. Sola fide, faith alone. On the other hand, we have Unitarian Universalists, that's us. We don't even pretend to believe alike. More, we say that what we believe is actually irrelevant. It's what we do that matters. Acts of practical goodness over beliefs of abstract goodness. As Dr. Cornel West tells us, quote, justice is what love looks like in public. Now, in what may be a surprising twist, at least to some of you, certainly was to me, it turns out the Bible disagrees with all of us. While, quote, works without faith is empty, so it is that, quote, faith without works is dead. Anybody know that? Ever heard that before? That's the book of James. Faith and works, inner and outer, yin and yang, opposites in tension. I want to say that these things are maybe best seen as inextricable, not separate at all. We spend a lot of time out there. That's true. And maybe what Bhante was trying to tell us is that the in here matters, or at least matters also. And if you neglect one, either one, you do no honor to yourself, no honor to the spirit that moves you, no honor to the aspirations that guide you, no honor to anyone. It's false, empty, dead. So if we are looking for a way to change the world, and some of us are, we can always start with ourselves. And as we do that, and if we are doing it right, we know that we are changing the world. We start in here with a simple idea, a who we are, identity, that strange and beautiful thing, our tiny mustard seed, our light. When we name it, it can grow, change, and flourish. It can become a beacon, something to be shared, inner going outer, coming out. Coming out, see what I did there? Inner coming out, yeah. That sharing, that expression, that revelation is how our light gathers other lights and becomes more, becomes greater, becomes a power. And that is when the world begins to tremble. Not coincidentally, that's also when the world pushes back. And that brings me finally to Florida. For reasons known only to Darth Vader, Mephistopheles, and Ron DeSantis's therapist, Florida recently passed the Parental Rights in Education Act, though everyone calls it the what? Everybody know? They don't say gay bill, right? Good God. In short, this law, it's now a law, this law makes it illegal for kids to talk about their own sexual orientation or gender identity at school, or to talk about the sexual orientation or gender identity of anyone else. Because if we don't name it, it doesn't exist, right? Magic, poof. And as everyone knows, repressing the truth never has consequences. Anyway, so now if little Sally has two dads or little Johnny has two moms, mentioning that reality in class can get the teacher fired. Gay people, gay families, gay experiences, all erased. No fuss, no muss, no greasy aftertaste. This is not the first time Florida has decided to erase reality by applying a scalpel to the English language. Back in 2015, the legislature told the state's workers to remove the words climate change from their work, their materials, and their websites. Again, because nothing says we fixed it like refusing to talk about it. The idea that we can hide from the truth by hiding from words or by hiding the words themselves, this is goofy. It's absurd. And everyone knows it. We know better than this. Everyone knows better than this because the truth will out. Always. And that is one of 1,000 reasons why National Coming Out Day is important. Because we all know that when we do not name the truth, when we live the lie, when we hide ourselves, hide our past, hide our sins, hide our pain, nothing good ever comes of that. Instead, we know that when we name the truth in here, we create spaces out there, spaces where we can live, with and around, in and through. And it is there, if we are lucky, if we are compassionate and collaborative, if we are diligent and fearless, this is where we get to build on truth. In a world of fake news, propaganda, and quote, flooding the channel with crap, in that world, it is countercultural, it is revolutionary to even dare to build on the truth. I think we can dare. So with all due respect to the powers and principalities, we are going to say those scary words, even if we're left-handed. We are going to say insurrection and fascist and climate change. And we're going to say those other words too, those secret words, those hidden words, those supposedly shameful words that they think they can use to make us less and small. We're going to say gay. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Let's say that with me. Gay, lesbian, transgender. Terrifying, right? Gay, gay, gay. Yeah, there you go. Folks, the truth can be hard. It can be scary, but when we do it together, when we live it together, we get to be brave together. We get to be large. We get to be whole. We get to be more than we were. And in many cases, we just get to be. So yeah, we are. We are going to say all of that and more. We're going to keep saying all of that this election season and the next. And we're going to keep talking about the things that we have done, the things that we have yet to do. And we're going to keep talking until the truth is out and the world turns back towards the light, back towards the truth, back towards the love that we all have within us, the truth of love, the truth that is love. We're going to spill what is in here out there. We're going to keep doing it until we set the world on fire. The truth is the name of the way and the light. May she burn ever bright. And may these days of wonder lift our hearts and fire our courage. And today and all days, may our LGBTQI plus friends, family, and neighbors be held in that light, the warmth of our esteem and the joy that is our love. Amen, and blessed be.